Hello traders and welcome to the Technical Outlook and Setups volume 36. It's Iliya here and I'm so glad to see you on my YouTube channel. As always in this video we're gonna have a look at how the market developed this week and what are we expecting for the upcoming one. So it was a pretty decent week. We had some nice movements. We had some nice continuations as well. So today we're gonna have a detailed look and I'm going to lay out some potential setups. So that you know, Monday can always take our setups in the opposite direction because usually on Monday traders position themselves for the week ahead. So always try to adapt to the market and the market structure that it starts forming. So as you can see, I am here on the weekly time frame. So if you haven't checked my last video, make sure to click on the thingy I'm going to leave right now in the corner. To see how am I adapting right now to the market. So I will be looking more on the higher time frames and then translating the information down to the lower ones. So if you're excited about it, make sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell in order not to miss my future content. And if you already did, let's head straight for the analysis. As always, having a look at the dollar to see what is up. So as you can see, the previous week closed extremely bullish, massive bullish engulf with no wick to the upside. And this week we just had a very slight pullback and the market printed another very strong bullish candle right here. So what I can see from the weekly time frame, if you look at my crosshair right now, you will see that this level was broken with this candle and we had a little retest of it and then the market continued. Right now we're entering into a very strong weekly resistance, which is around 99.50. So price should approach this kind of structure there. So currently staying and entering into kind of a danger zone. So that's just a very quick look on the weekly time frame. And as we translate this to the daily, we can see push, pullback, push, pullback, push, nice pullback, a little bit of manipulation below this area, you see, but it found perfect support here. And then we printed a bullish candle and a massive continuation to the upside with no pullbacks at all and no selling pressure. So what I want to see on the dollar, guys, is a little bit of a pullback, maybe back to retest this 98.55 key area in the market, which we took from the weekly. So that's a quick look on the daily. And then if we drop down to the 4-hourly time frame, we can just see how the structure is starting to get compressed. We just have push, pullback, push, pullback, push, pullback. Very kind of unclear. We don't have the clear waves. So, and this is very nicely seen on the daily because we just have bullish candles printing. Yes, we do have pullbacks and the market is still bullish, but I do expect this to roll over. So what I will do right now, guys, is to mark my last kind of structural area, which is this one, because we see price pushed, pulled back, rejected here, but then broke, perfectly retested back. This was a perfect long opportunity and then printed a new higher high. So as long as price stays above and ranges above this area, we have to still remain bullish. But if we have a break of this area and a retest, then I think 98.55 will get tapped. And if we eliminate this level, then I think we will be having some nice downside. So still, the dollar is pretty bullish and I will remain bullish until I see otherwise. We can find some support and resistance levels here at this wick or at this wick, but I just want to see where the price will react on market open. So far, bullish dollar. Let's see what do we have for Euro USD. Euro USD daily time frame. What can we see, guys? Even more selling pressure than the dollar. We had a massive bearish engulf, weekly engulf, engulfing 2 weeks of price action right here. Bearish engulf. Price encountered the weekly resistance, support right here, but we just snapped below it. So right now, if I am to look on the left, I don't want to look at it because that is 2017, but price may come back down to visit all of these lows. So overall, as you can see, the market is trending down. So we have to remain down. And currently price is printing a new lower low on the weekly. So we should expect some sort of a pullback. Translating this on the daily, we see that the daily closed below this area, retested the area with this wick and just continued to push to the downside, throwing wicks to the upside, indicating a lot of selling pressure. What I really want to see on this market, I'm dying for it, is a little pullback just to get a nice entry. So translating this to the 4-hourly time frame, what we can see, guys, is just little slight pullbacks, push, little pullback, push, little pullback. We don't have the clear waves right now, so we have to adapt to this. And what I tested as well is using a moving average, but I removed it for the sake of the clarity of the charts. So what we had this week was a push here, little pullback back to retest this area, kind of closed above, but then immediately snapped back below, continued to push to the downside, another lower high, rejection, and the week ends bearish. So what I want to see on this market and what I'm going to mark is my last lower high. Let me do this a little bit more like this so you can see it, okay? And maybe if price pulls back here to create an equal lower high, I may look for some short opportunities or another retest of the weekly. So this largely depends on the dollar as well, what the dollar is going to do. But I do want to see a daily pullback on this one. So maybe something like this, back at the 50, 61.8%. Even a retest of the structure will be perfect because we can see this is a massive key area right here. So we just have to see how the market is going to open. Are we going to gap somewhere? But the euro so far is pretty weak. So as long as it remains below those structural areas, I will be shorting it. Euro JPY weekly time frame, guys. So we will be starting from the weekly right now, but just scrolling a very quick analysis. While we can see massive bearish engulf, just massive after a little pullback here, you can see how the weekly candles can really tell you what is going to happen next week, because we had this nice rejection from top right here, closed like this, then the market just pulled back a little bit and really pushed to the downside. Right now we're closing below this weekly level, which is 119.25, and I think that this level right now on the weekly will be my target for now. 117.0 key level in this market, so we can start expecting more downside on this one. So just quickly plotting right here for to see if it translates to the daily. Yep, you can see we had here support, and then the price created an uptrend. So when price broke this area, just have a look at how this from the weekly translates into support here. You see support, then support again, price pulled back and then snapped back below. What I really die to see on this market is a daily pullback back at this area. So translating this to the 4-hourly time frame, what do we have? You see support. We had a little kind of a corrective phase right here, price snapped back below and just continued to rally to the downside. What I want to see right now, I think this marking this little structure will be too immediate. So I really die to see, as I keep saying, is a pullback on euro, because if I draw a Fibonacci, something like this, you see it's perfectly into the 50 and the 61.8% zone. So that is my ideal setup. If price gets here, I will be for sure short, or just looking for short, and my rejections and all the confirmations. But a pullback here and a rejection will still mean short, but the higher probability is here. So let's see what the market has for us on Euro JPY for next week. AUD USD weekly time frame. To be honest, guys, I don't like this this pair right now. So just having a look on the weekly, we can see that price is staying right now at a massive weekly area. You see tap. This is a whole zone of demand. So price strongly entered into this area, rejected, closed above, tried to push all the way up but failed. So there are still a lot of sellers coming from that move. And this week kind of printed a bullish engulf but with wick on top, which is not that nice. And if we see the daily, guys, so the daily, what did we have? A push, a beautiful pullback. This was a beautiful short opportunity just right here. The market rallied to the downside, but again found support. And this week we just had a little pullback, and this week really did nothing actually. If we translate this to the 4-hourly time frame, we had a little double bottom here, potential trade. Then the market pushed up. We had a potential lower high right here, but you see the market pushed, pulled back, and just ended up consolidating. So what I want to mark on this pair is just this box, this consolidation that is happening right now. I am more kind of a buy bias on this one because price has been pushing down. We had this potential double bottom push. If price pulls back a little bit and breaks this daily area, then I will be going long. But however, if price breaks below this one, comes back for a retest, then this will be for sure be a short opportunity back at 66.70, the weekly area. And if we break the weekly area, then a lot of selling pressure could be exposed, because if we have a look on the left, we have no areas right here up until that is 2009. So very long time price hasn't been here. So I'm pretty interested to see, and I would love to see this price action push to the upside, because then we can decide on targets using market structure. So this is the setup for now. Let's see how the market opens. Potentially just mark this box and see how price reacts to it. We have much better structure on AUD JPY rather than AUD USD. So what I can see here is this massive weekly area. Just look at it, 7,500. Massive top right here. This was at the beginning of the, this is 2019, I believe. Massive top, price pushes all the way back up here and takes a very long time to come back here again. Just a single tap and then another uptrend. So I think personally that we have two targets here just from the weekly. This one could be the next one, like this. And what I can see right now, just weekly structure, guys, it's super simple. We have this trend line. The trend line was broken, 1, 2, 3 formation. The price pushes and the price will always pull back. So we have one pullback, two pullback right here. So I believe that this is looking more short bias than buy bias. What I can see is very similar structure to Aussie USD. We have this this zone that is creating a corrective double top. We had bullish, we almost had a bearish engulf, and the last day ended up consolidating. So let's translate this to the 4 hour. Let's look for our setups. We see that the price ended up consolidating. So we really have to see some clear structure in order to go short on this market. So what I will do again is to mark the structures that are strong in this market, which is this one. You see resistance, break, retest, push to the upside. And then we had quite a lot of wicks to the downside. What I want to see, guys, is a strong break below to indicate the selling pressure and that this level is invalidated. Possibly price may find support somewhere around here. Then price will pull back straight into this area, rejection, and then we can snap that short and target this lower region. First target, second target, third target. So let's see if this plays out. I'm pretty excited about Aussie JPY because the structure looks beautiful. So let's see if we're going to have some weak Aussie dollar for next week. Let's have a look at the NZDs. So what are they doing, guys? We can see from the weekly that they are creating swing highs. You see push, pullback, push, lower low, pullback, which created a lower high of this lower high right here. And currently price is on its way to maybe create a lower low down here. Analyzing the last week, we had a bearish engulf and then price pulled back to leave a wick closed bullish. So a little bit indecisive. Let's drop to the daily time frame to see what is going on right here. The last major structure is this one from the daily. So as long as price remains below this one, I will keep selling this market. What do we have on the daily? Straight back into this area. Look at the precision. The market just tapped into this zone, rejected, bearish candle, and then ended the week consolidating. So the current price action is not looking very nice. What I can do is leave this supportive region and translate this to the 4 hourly time frame. So we had this corrective, kind of a corrective movement, which looks like a bullish push and an exhaustion. So if you saw my last Instagram video, we were looking for a buy right here, but price is currently in the middle of nowhere. What I want to see on this price, guys, is a liquidity run to the upside to grab more orders in order to push the price down, because we have this, we have this kind of area right here that price may come into to create a double top, because you can see we have a lot of wicks, a lot of slowdown, so price is not ready to make a move yet. But if you know the higher time frame analysis, then we can wait for those pullbacks and not to get confused into any longs, because if price action pulls back here, it will be seeking orders. So if price comes back in here, I will for sure be waiting for shorts. So let's have a quick look at NZD JPY as well. Weekly time frame looks very nice because we had a bearish engulf, 1 week of pullback, grabbing liquidity, second week of pullback, grabbing liquidity as well. And if you pay attention to this weekly area, it is beautifully retested. So we have quite a lot of downside on this one. Let me just have a look at the bigger picture. Low, high, low, high, low. This was kind of it looked like it broke this structure, but it didn't really break it. It was just a fake out, and we see price plummeted after. Translating this to the daily time frame, what we see is a clear consolidation, guys, right here. So we can just mark the bottom of the consolidation like this. Having a look on the left, yeah, we don't care for the left for now because we want this area broken. And we can see on top where price is stuck. And the opportunity we wanted to enter from my last video was around this area, because we saw a push, we saw a pullback, rejection, but you can see just the candles were not bullish. We had a massive pullback, massive trial to push to the upside, but price was just slapped back below, bearish engulf, and the market continued to range to the downside. Very similar to NZD USD, I will be waiting for some sort of a liquidity run to the upside. So if price is about to push to the downside, it should push up first in order to give like a better price for people to enter shorts and then push to the downside. What price can do as well is run to the downside, manipulate a bit, pull back into the range, create more confusion, and then break. So overall, guys, my bias is sells until I see otherwise. Like otherwise will be a break of this area and then a retest to the upside. So short bias on NZDs. Let's see if we have any pullbacks or what price will do. USD CAD, very intriguing price action is happening right here, guys, because what we can see from the weekly is that there is a massive area of resistance here, a massive block for the price. So we can take this our largest wick, which is the weekly high. However, we can see that there is a big area happening right here, something like this. We see price tapped the previous week, rejected, and this week entered even deeper into this zone and rejected. Did not close as a bearish engulf, which is a pity, because if this was bearish engulf, then price will for sure drop. However, we see that there is selling pressure, which is what is important to me. Going back to the daily time frame, I had a winning trade on this one. Actually, it was a little long opportunity right here, a little scalp. So I will try to locate it on the 4 hourly. What we can see is a big double top happening right here. So I will not say this is a double top, because I don't like such double tops, massive double top. A double top for me will be a pullback right now, not a pullback after months. So daily time frame, guys, what I can see right here, just analyzing the last days of price action, is that price is finding support at this area here, 32,500 around. So what I will do is just drop a quick line like this and then go to the 4 hourly. What is the 4 hourly doing? You see double bottom, bearish engulf, boom, bullish engulf. So price is not ready yet to drop. However, what we had right here is the break of this trend line, little retest, massive push to the downside, pull back again at this area. So I will mark this last area where price found resistance and attempted to push to the downside. However, we see there is not enough strength. So price will do something first. It will either pull back to this area, or it will make a bigger pullback, maybe into this kind of area here, because we see support. This was the last higher low that was tested again. You see how this candle closed above, but then we broke, retested from the other side, and then the price plummeted. You see how we're building a story. So those will be the two levels I will be looking at. If I just drop a quick fib, 61.8% lies in this one, and we have 38.2% lying in this one. So the opportunity I got, I think it was exactly from here, but it was from here. You see here how price went into this zone, rejection. Then price went straight in deeper into the zone, and I think I nailed a 50. Here is my entry, something like this. Stop loss was, I think, 7 pips or something. 7 pips, and I think I righted it first to this zone, and then the highest point of this one, which is around 3 and a something. So a nice trade, and you can see then price entered and gave us the reversal. So this is for you, CAD, guys. I am short bias. Where's price? I am short bias, but let's see if it pulls back either to this area or to this area. USD Swiss franc has been a little bit messy, not messy, but like we saw this massive bullish engulf here from the weekly. We had a little pullback and straight continuation. So what I can do simply from the weekly time frame is mark this little bit area that I can consider to be of support right now. Here you see tap, previously tap as well. Here a lot of interaction. So this will be the only area I will be keeping, and keeping in mind that the last weekly candle was pretty bullish. We expect continuation. So why is this happening? Because we have an extremely strong euro and euro USD, and this is the opposite correlation to euro USD. So we have just non-stop bullishness here. What we saw as well is a break of this kind of structure. This is too big. So if we take just the average of this one, we had a break and a beautiful retest to the downside, bullish engulf, little pullback, and a continuation up. So translating this to the 4 hourly, I did not see any setups except from this one, but I usually kind of stay away from the USD Swiss franc because I don't like it. Like it's been just, it's like Euro USD and even worse. So we had this bearish pressure here and I said, okay, we might be out for a reversal. But knowing that the daily was broken and then price tapped straight into this area, bullish engulf, continuation, trial for a double top. You see all the people were trapped here that tried to enter shorts, but I would have entered as well. But I would have taken profits either from the tight entries or I would have been stopped out with this candle. And then we had a continuation. Very simple analysis on this one, guys. Let's see if price comes back to retest this kind of area right here. And maybe a Fibonacci area we can throw. Yep, it's perfectly 56.1.8%. Pull back here, the 27% perfectly aligns with our weekly area. So let's see if we have this kind of setup. All right, USD JPY is extremely messy. So I haven't traded this pair. I don't remember from when, but you can even see the weekly is kind of confusing. So I will not zoom out to see, yep, we are still in a downtrend, but not even in a downtrend because this last kind of lower high structure was broken. And you can see it's just up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, not clear. What I can do from the weekly is just mark this resistance area that price hasn't tapped yet. We have 110. Which was a nice little area, and we can see from the daily that price broke above. Like if I mark this, broke above and then immediately back below, but we have a very strong daily support right here. And if I drop to the 4-hourly time frame, you will see a very big choppiness. You see, guys, push into the downside, rejection, push up, like push, pull back, higher low, higher high, massive push straight into this zone, rejection. And all the wicks happening right here. So UJ is extremely confusing to me. I'm completely honest. So what I can do to simplify the analysis is to mark my highest point, my lowest point, which is a very strong demand area right here, and wait for a break and retest. If you don't know what the market is doing, do this, guys. A little tip from me: mark the high, mark the low, and then just wait for a break and retest. So if this breaks this very strong area, closes below, then for sure we will have some massive selling pressure down to this support, and this support down here. So UJ, a little bit unclear. Let's see how the market will open. Let's have a look at the GBPs, which have been a little bit trickier. So having a look at the weekly time frame, while we can see that price printed a massive high here, bearish engulf, pull back, but kind of, if you imagine this, we're kind of stuck in a zone right here in a box. So what we had the previous week was a massive bearish engulf, but this week actually closed bullish. And this is because we had some sort of news on this day. You see the market just extremely pushed up. So kind of trying to break down the daily. Let's see, what do we have? We potentially might have a Fibonacci area because this price, what really made me take shorts on this one was the break of this significant area right here. Let me take the rectangle tool, this area, because we broke. You see, after rejection, we broke and closed below. Retest, and this was a perfect opportunity right here. I took a short on GJ, and then the market went straight up after some sort of news. What I will do in this market is I will mark my major areas from the daily, which is this one and this one. Translating this to the 4-hourly time frame, what we can see is this manipulation right here, beautiful manipulation, massive push, all the people went long, slapped back below, and then continued rolling to the downside. What I will do again, guys, do you remember my tip from the previous pair? Mark the low, mark the high, wait for a break and a retest. So if this breaks to the upside, gives us a little higher low retest, then price may be taken back straight into this daily zone. That may get retested for a second time, or much better setup if the market breaks below this one and gives us a retest. Then I think this is the best setup, because overall this market, I am short biased on this market because we're staying at a Fibonacci area right now. Like this, 50%, maybe a little run to the upside to tap the 61.8% as manipulation. But let's see what this market has for us. I'm short biased on the GBPs until I see otherwise. Let me cover the others as well. GJ, so let me see where I went short. I really don't remember. I think it was around, exactly. Yeah, it was around this area, I think. Yeah, so I was waiting a lot on this market. It pushed to the downside, then pulled back up, rejection, but I was seeing that there was something happening right here, so I went break even. I think got stopped out around here, and then massive push to the upside. So let me do my analysis first. Weekly time frame, we have a bullish engulf on the weekly time frame, so a lot of buying pressure happening right here. We have a lot of wicks. We have a weekly area here of resistance, 144.5. This is the area. Translating this to the daily and keeping in mind that we have a bullish engulf on the weekly. Okay, so this is actually in the box right now because we see the bottom, top of the bottom, top rejection. I have an alarm here as well because I wanted to enter shorts on Friday. So let me drop structure on the 4 hourly quickly. What we have here, yeah, I wanted to see a price when it was around here to spike into this area so I can enter a short. But we can see right now, guys, that the price is overall bullish, and we have a weekly bullish close. So shorts opportunities, we have to be extremely patient. Let's see if price pulls back into this area. I really want to see rejections, something like this, and then potentially a roll to the downside. The highest probability trade will be a break of this zone. You see beautiful break and retest. Spike, push to the downside, higher low, second point of the trend line, push, pull back, rejection, pull to the upside, but a little bit weakness. So this is my simple setup on GJ. Let's see a break and a retest of this trend line, which will be a beautiful setup, or a break and retest of this structure, which will take us into 144.5. But we have else. GA was extremely ugly the whole week. We had a bearish week, and then right now we have kind of bullish week with wick on the bottom indicating some bullish pressure. So I think like the GBPs, the overall they're a little bit bullish. So what I can see here, guys, it was on the 4 hourly, it's much clearer because we had a very big consolidation happening right here. So price was cooking for something, and we had this kind of structure. You see push, price was creating lows. Lower high, but was failing to break below this area, which is 1.92. And then what we saw was price spike here, where it rejected, well, the last lower high, right? Spike. A lot of people went short here. Then we had the breakout. Look at the retest. Look at the hourly retest, this little tap right here, and then a continuation to the upside. Price is currently stuck into this little box. So if I do it like a box, it will look like this. I can do this as well. So any break and retest below or above this zone, this box will be an opportunity. We can come to revisit the highs here, or we can break and retest and revisit the lows. So a little bit indecisive on GA, but with the news that pushed us into the highs right here, potential retest, we might look for some bullish GBPs. And why I don't have Euro GBP, just quickly, guys, to throw a quick analysis. Oh, I have something drawn right here. Massive bearish engulf as we have the weak euro. We still have a few pips to achieve before we tap into the weekly lows. What we can see is beautiful structure right here happening, a break of this one, wick zone. Let me see, like this, a break of this daily zone, close below, massive push to the downside, pull back the last day, but still unfulfilled. What I want to see, what I die to see on the euro pairs is a pullback into this zone. I can take this FIP, 50%. I would love to see a 50% because we just had a little pullback and a continuation down. So I hope price taps into this area. And when it taps into this area, it will create that little pullback. My last structure is this one. So as long as price stays below, we're still bearish. But if we break it, I will be monitoring carefully at this area because we have tap, break. If we have a retest, then we can have another short opportunity. So that's for the GBP, guys. Just a quick glance at CAD yen because it has been extremely messy the previous 2 weeks. What I can see from the weekly, yeah, I won't draw a big zone from the weekly because it will appear too big. Is this area? Let me slap a zone. Resistance, break, retest, continuation, retest, trial to continue. What I have here as well is this zone. Which kind of looks like a head and shoulders that price may form on the weekly time frame. What we had here was a beautiful 1, 2, 3 formation, massive bullish engulf, price pulling back and continuing to the upside. So from the daily, like I am more short biased on this one. I don't know why, but I just think that this is down. Although we encounter, you see price is always jumping in between two levels. If you watched the video I created recently, you will see what I mean. So push, pull back, And if I just have a simple look on the 4-hourly time frame, it was extremely messy this week. So as always, guys, my little tip, we're applying it too much in this analysis, was mark the highs, mark the lows. And what do we wait for? Break and retest. Super simple. Where we can target the price down there, which is a support, support here, support. So if price breaks, retest, this would be our first target. If this target gets eliminated, break and retest down to 81,500. So very simple setup on CAD yen. If we break to the upside as well, retest, and we have the higher boundary here. You see, extremely simple. Wrapping up the video with Goldie. So what do we have on this one? What I can see is that massive spike here into 1600s, where price may be trying to reach right now, and dropping to the daily. What we see is rejection from the highs right here. So I can mark even this daily rejection where price is headed into right now. What did we have this week? We had a push, we had a pullback. This push actually, I really thought that the market is going down because we had a beautiful rejection of the 61.8. Trial to push down, but you see again reading behind the price action. Rejection, 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 boom, bullish engulf, closing above the daily area, a little retest, and a continuation to the upside. So overall, I think gold is going up into this area. I think it will revisit this kind of area. You can draw a little zone like this to keep it like a zone, because we never, price is never just a straight line. What we can do is just mark this trend line as well. If price decides to give us a little pullback, the last structure, which I am not allowing price to break for shorts, is this one. Wick, push into the upside. So we might have a little pullback in and around this kind of area, and then a continuation into this zone. So I think gold will push us a little bit higher. So let's see. And then if we start having some daily rejections right here, we can start looking for shorts. But overall, for now, gold is looking bullish. So that's for this weekly analysis, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you like implementing the weekly and the daily time frame. You see how clear it is, right? Leave me some feedback down in the comment section if you liked it. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button, and thank you for staying up until now. I totally appreciate it, and see you on my next video.